Have you ever felt like your Scrum Master salary was, well, good, but not great? Like you're stuck in a rat race relying on that weekly or that bi weekly paycheck to cover your bills, but you're not quite sure how to move beyond it. Well, let me tell you something. Some Scrum Masters are living paycheck to paycheck, and I hope that's not you, while others at Scrumcademy are using their Scrum income to create wealth, to build assets, and to gain true financial freedom. And you know what the best part is? You can be one of them. Welcome to the Rich Scrum Master, Poor Scrum Master series, where I'm going to share with you real life stories of Scrum Masters whom I've helped over the years, who have taken their careers and turned them into vehicles for wealth creation. We'll uncover how you can follow their lead, break free from the paycheck cycle, and give yourself a 100% raise. And trust me, it's not as impossible as it may sound. Welcome to the Scrumcademy channel. I am your Scrum coach, Scott Adams. Let's start with why. If you never read that book by Simon Sinek, it's definitely a game changer, a must-read book for you in your career. Now, those of you who know me, I've been in this space for quite some time. I've reached the top of my game in terms of being a professional Scrum trainer with Scrum.org. That is the elite of the elite. To me, that is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, to reach that particular designation. Over the years, I've trained thousands of Scrum Masters to be practitioners in the workplace. My personal goal is to train 10,000 Scrum Masters by the year 2030. Now, that was my initial goal, but along the way, I've had the opportunity to meet some amazing Scrum and Agile practitioners who are doing legendary things. I have had the luxury to work with some of the brightest Scrum and Agile practitioners on the planet, and they're doing very, very well. On the flip side of that, I've also had the luxury to meet practitioners who are not doing very well. Well, Scott, why do you say that that is a luxury? Because those persons are what keep me up at night. I wake up in the morning with them on my mind. I'm in the lab trying to figure out ways of how can I help them be all that they could be without joining the United States Army. Along this journey of achieving my goals of training 10,000 Scrum practitioners to get into this space and play this game called Scrum at a super duper high level, I have an addition to my goal. It first started out with me helping out my friends and family. They have different situations in their lives. Say they don't have enough money for this, they don't have enough money for that. And since I've been in this space, I've never had that problem. I'm just scratching my head trying to figure out, like, why are they having this financial problem? We're making great money in this industry as it is. What is it they're not doing that they are not creating a financially sound foundation for them and their family? So I began to work with them one-on-ones. I was able to mentor and coach them to a level that they met their financial goals, they met their professional goals, and wow. And some days I'm here in the lab, I'm thinking like, wow, I still meet a lot of Scrum practitioners who are struggling with the implementation of Scrum, as well as having the money they need and want for their families and to reach their financial destination. So luckily for you, luckily for me, I'm at a point where I can take what I've been doing private for years. I can take that public now, because now I have another goal: to have 1,000 Scrum and Agile practitioners to become millionaires in a shorter time than the current trajectory. For example, if you don't know, the average annual salary for a Scrum Master is $118,000 here in the United States as of the recording of this video. Let's say today is your first day. In 10 years from now, you will have made $1 million. Fantastic. But what if I could show you a way that you can compress that? What if I could show you something, or you can get an idea out of something that I say that could help speed up the trajectory of you making $1 million, earning $1 million, or becoming a millionaire, whatever that looks like for you, your family, your situation? What if I can help you expedite that process to making $1 million? You see, because if I can help those persons become all that they can be, everybody benefits. The world benefits. Your Scrum team benefits. Your community benefits. You benefit. Your family benefit. Everybody and everything benefits as a result of you being all that you were put on this earth to be. Win, 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 win situation. So my goals and objectives are very, very clear. 10,000 minority Scrum Masters getting into this space and play it at a super duper high level. And number 2, to help 1,000 Scrum and Agile practitioners to become a millionaire in a short amount of time than the standard. And that's what today's conversation is about. To share some stories, some individuals who I helped over the years to do just that. Today, we're kicking off a simple but powerful idea. Just like in the legendary book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. When I read this book, it changed my mindset in terms of how I think about assets and liabilities. There are 2 kinds of Scrum Masters. The first kind, the poor Scrum Master, is someone who focuses on job security. They work hard, collect their paycheck, and hope that climbing the career ladder will get them where they want to go. Well, how's that working out for you thus far? Are you there yet? I'm thinking about the movie. Are we there yet? Yeah, keys in the back of the car, right? Exactly. Yeah, but here's the thing. They're trapped. They don't invest. They don't think long term. And they don't see how their Scrum Master income could be a seed for something much, much bigger. Then there's the rich Scrum Master. Woo, baby. We think like an investor. We think like an entrepreneur, not just as an employee. We see the Scrum Master role as an opportunity to generate more income, not just from salary, but from the assets that work for us. And today, I'm going to tell you the story of one of my students who did just that. One of my students, let's call him Fred. I had the pleasure to meet Fred at a contract that we both was mutually working on together. As I got to know Fred, I could quickly tell that Fred was a car enthusiast. Oh, sports car. Exotic type of cars, right? Yes. He was really into these cars. At first, I was like, man, are you a mechanic? Have you ever been a mechanic? You know a lot of details about a car that either you're a mechanic working on cars or you part of the team that actually built the car. Which one are you? I'm neither. I just do a lot of study. I'm like, okay, wow, that's amazing. Fred and I worked at a huge distribution center together, implementing Agile and Scrum for this organization. Fred was a very sharp guy. Coached him on some things while we was there to become a better Scrum Master. That's what we do. Peers taking care of peers. And our relationship lasted even after we worked that contract together. So I called Fred following up on a conversation that we had maybe like 2 months prior to that. It is October the 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I called Fred. I get his voicemail. I say, I'm in backlog refinement. I'll give you a call right back. So Fred called me back at 10:30 and we're catching up, seeing how you doing. Fred, how's your wife doing? She's still programming? She's still engineering? Still making all that money? Yeah. You still making all that money you making? Yeah, I am. Scott, let me tell you something. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on the edge of my chair. It said, Scott, I bought that Corvette and I bought that Audi. I said, you bought 2 cars? I said, you talking about that top of the line Corvette sports car and that top of the line Audi? He said, yeah, I got it. Now, at first glance, you see at Scrumcademy, we don't teach our students to do that because remember the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Is that an asset or a liability? Before I get back to Fred conversation, I'm asking you right now, is that an asset or is that a liability? So I wasn't happy at all at first when he bought those cars. I said, okay, Fred, tell me more. That goes against everything that I have taught you. I said, Fred, now you know you got to explain that. I mean, is that the best thing that you could find to do with your money? Is to go out and buy a $100,000 plus vehicle twice? Is that the best you can come up with? He said, no, Scott, wait a minute. Listen. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on the edge of my chair. Give it to me. Yeah. So Fred said, Scott, I created passive income by thinking about my passion for cars. I said, okay, Fred, you got me on the edge of my chair. Can you go ahead and quickly get to the point? I said, because I'm ready to blast you out right now for doing that. But yeah, you got me curious in terms of what you get ready to say in terms of how you go out and spend $100K plus on these exotic cars 2 times, and you're going to turn it into passive income. I said, yeah. I turned it into passive income. I said, do tell, Fred, do tell. I say, luckily we're on the phone because I was in face to face. I'll probably be hitting you right now, right? Give it to me, baby. Exactly. So Fred tells me, he says, Scott, when I bought these vehicles, I leased both of them. I said, okay. He said, I don't get to drive them much. I said, what do you mean you don't get to drive them much? You bought 2 brand new cars and you don't drive them much. He said, I told you I use these as a way for passive income. I love these cars and I've been wanting these cars for quite some time. I said, yep. He said, so now I have them. And you know what, man? I really don't have that much time to drive them. Okay, cool. Fred, you got me. You really got me on the edge of my chair right now. So please tell me, what in the heck you talking about? Because my brain cannot wrap around what is he talking about, right? So Fred says this. He says, Scott, I advertise these on the app called Toro. I said, the car sharing app, like having your own enterprise via Toro. He's like, yeah. I said, I used that one time. I was traveling in Boston. I looked at the rental car prices. I'm like, for what they charging in Boston, Massachusetts for a rental car, it was like $100 per day for like a Toyota Corolla. I mean, maybe a Toyota Prism or something like that. I'm like, I'm not paying that for that. No. So I went to Toro. I rented their car. Now, it was cheap, but what I didn't like about it was the inconvenience, because I had to park the car at a certain place that was close to the airport, but it wasn't at the airport. Then I tried to get the owner, hey, look, can you meet me at the airport to pick up this car that I rented from you? No, I can't do it. You're going to have to leave it at this particular destination. I did that. Then I had to call a cab to pick me up from where I left the car to take me from that point to the Boston, Massachusetts. I'm like, so I did that one time. And after that experience, I'm like, nah, that ain't working out too good. So back to Fred. So Fred says, so a lot of people want this car. And this is that Corvette that has a waiting list. One of my fraternity brothers is on the team that actually build these cars. Actually, in fact, the last Appalachian State homecoming that we had, he drove one down all the way from the plant that it was made at, all the way to Boone, North Carolina for Appalachian State homecoming. Of course, he was turning all kinds of heads there, of course. Right, he's riding with the top down. Of course, he was turning heads with that red Corvette. Brand new. Wasn't even in mass production yet. So Fred had waited on this vehicle for quite some time, and now he has it. And now he puts the car on Toro. Now I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I understand what's going on here. He lives in Chicago, Illinois. Again, this is in October when we're having this conversation, right? October the 18th. So it's fall. It get a little chilly. So he was talking about, most of the time, man, I don't get to drive the car because some wedding party, somebody who just want to have it for the weekend, they rent it from him and he charges like $1,000 a day. They more than happy. I said, man, don't you think that's too much? $1,000 a day? I mean, to drive this here car? He said, yeah, that's just for the Corvette. I mean, the Audi, I get maybe $800 a day off of that. I'm like, wow. Man, are you kidding me? I said, is it rented out like Monday through Friday? He said, typically somebody would pick it up on Thursday. I work through the day 9 to 5 as a Scrum Master. That, hey, I got my wife. Then we got to go do things together, blah, blah, blah. And then on the weekend, we like to drive our exotic cars. We would prefer to drive our exotic cars. Let's have a good time, enjoy the place, and just see something different. He said, but I don't get a chance to do that. I say, Fred, are you complaining? He said, no, I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. I said, okay, great. Great. I said, great. He said, no, I ain't complaining. I'm explaining. I said, Fred, can you explain to me how much do you make on a monthly basis? Fred, is it enough to cover the monthly payment of the vehicle? He said, my payments are in the thousands of dollars. I said, I can imagine that. Based upon which I think his payment was like, I don't know, maybe $1,500 a month. Let's say $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Now, I forget that number, but I did not forget this number, the passive income. Watch this. That's Fred. How much do you make, let's say, on a monthly basis? How much do you make on a monthly basis by putting your car on Toro and leasing it out as if you are your own personal enterprise? Rent a car, Hertz or whatever corporation like that do car rentals. I said, how much do you make as a result of doing it? He was talking like this was a low month. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, my lowest month was $10,000. I said, $10,000. I said, that's for, since you've been doing that? He said, no, you asked me for a monthly price, right? I said, yeah, a monthly price. I said, so $10,000 is that average? He said, no, that's the lowest. I said, so your monthly payment is, let's say, $1,000, $2,000, whatever it was. And your monthly income is $10,000. So let's say it's $2,000. So there's an $8,000 profit in there. Less maintenance, gas, or whatever. We're cleaning the car up, blah, blah, blah. So let's say still he's able to walk away with $5,000. He bought something that he loved. He's able to drive something that he loves, that he really, really wants. And he was able to figure out a way to, how can I take something I love, I'm passionate about, that I know is a liability. Yeah, you see the connection? I know is a liability, exactly, and turn it into an asset. And turn it into a way where it creates me money versus costing me money. After that, I say less, man. Say less. I say, good job. Good job. Oh, I love that. That was so beautiful. So, to recap all that we have said thus far, instead of just driving around and watching his value depreciate, Fred decided to list it on Turo, an auto-sharing app, to rent it out. And guess what? He wasn't just covering his monthly payment on the car, as you heard. He was making a significant profit. That Corvette and Audi that he has typically will be a liability for most, but he was able to figure out a way to turn it into an income-generating asset. Wow, that's super dope, isn't it? You see, that's the difference between a poor Scrum Master and a rich Scrum Master. The poor Scrum Master would have been content with just having a car, but Fred thought bigger. He used this Scrum Master income to invest in something that could generate more income, to invest in something that he really, really wanted. And at the same time, he's thinking about, how can this generate me more income? And now every month, that Corvette and that Audi is working for him. And when it's not rented out, him and his wife are able to get in the car, style and profile, go wherever they want, whatever they want, and not worry about other people saying they spending all their money on their cars. No, he's making a significant amount of money from those cars. Oh, that was so good. Woo! That was so. So let's break down the mindsets here in that conversation with Fred. A poor Scrum Master is someone who stays dependent on a single paycheck. They think short term, they're focused on job security alone, and they don't look beyond their salary for financial growth. On the other hand, a rich Scrum Master is always asking, how can I make this money go to work for me? They use their income to invest in assets, whether it's cars, real estate, stocks, side hustles that generate passive income. We know that real wealth isn't just about working harder, it's about working smart. That brings me to something that's incredibly important. My give yourself a 100% raise challenge. Fred didn't just get lucky, he took actionable steps to turn his Scrum Master salary into more. And so can you. The 100% raise challenge is designed to help you break free from the poor Scrum Master mindset and take control of your financial future. Through this challenge, you will learn how to negotiate for higher pay or leverage your certifications for a better role, identify side hustles and investment strategies that work for you, and discover how to make your money work harder than you ever could. This is more than just career growth. It's about using your Scrum Master role as a platform for building lasting wealth. I've seen so many people just like Fred. This is the first story that I'm sharing with you in this series. Oh, I got tons. I have hundreds more. This was probably, I would put in the category of the most creative, like boomerang type of effect. I'm thinking it's a liability, which it is a liability, but creatively, he was able to turn a liability into something that generates income for him. Love it. Very nice. Very nice. I've seen so many people just like Fred who have taken their income to the next level, and you can too. If you're tired of feeling stuck, living from paycheck to paycheck, having more month than money, and if you want to learn how to double your income like Fred did, then I encourage you to register for the Give Yourself 100% Raise Challenge. The tools, the mindset shifts, and the success stories are all there waiting for you. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of the Rich Scrum Master, Poor Scrum Master series. We haven't even scratched the surface of what's possible. In the next episode, I'm going to share another incredible story of a student who took control of their financial situation, despite some pretty tough challenges. So make sure you tune in for that. And remember, if you're ready to stop working for money and start making money work for you, head over to www.giveyourselfa100raisechallenge.com and sign up for our next 100% Raise Challenge today. Until next time, say bye-bye to the poor Scrum Master mindset. Keep thinking like a rich Scrum Master. And as always, be agile, do Scrum, and be super duper legendary in all of your endeavors. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Say bye-bye to the poor Scrum Master mindset.